Hey, what's up everyone? This is Matthew Butler and this is the Dark Fate Echo trailer tutorial. So, pretty neat little preview video. Hopefully you liked it. And now we can jump into how to use it if you need some help. It should be pretty straightforward, but when you open it up, you'll be presented with O1 setup. This is obviously what you want to start with, number one. So open that up. Presented with this, the controls, and then 4 layers following. The 4 layers following are your placeholders, obviously. Controls, if you go into the effects, you'll see curves here. This controls the color of type and your logo, whatever it is that you're using. So if you want to hop into the green channel, increase it more green, you can do that and it'll show up in your file, and you can see back there kinda it's now greenish. So do whatever you want to do. I have it defaulting to more of a gray bluish color. And then below that, enable camera depth of field. Pretty basic thing. Once you're if you want to render it out looking really awesome, you want to enable that. If you're doing just a pass just to make sure everything looks good, you can disable it. Or if you don't have enough time to render it, uncheck that and it'll render out much quicker. Also, if you're doing some editing in any of the placeholders or in the final composition, you'll probably want to disable the depth of field, leave it unchecked, just because your After Effects program might freeze up, and that's obviously a problem because you lose all your progress and you have to restart, etc. Yeah. Okay, so back to the setup. You got your placeholder 1. This is obviously going to be showing up in placeholder 1, and then layer 2, 3, 4. Those correspond to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I say hello, hello, and then go to placeholder 1, it'll show up as hello. Awesome. Something you want to keep in mind is, alright, that's awesome, but I want a different font, or want it bold, or want to change the font size, or just whatever you want to do. You cannot change it in here. You'll want to go to your placeholder 1 and do all those changes. So you want to select it first, make it larger, smaller, increase, decrease tracking, change the font, whatever you want to do. You're going to want to do that inside your placeholder 1 on the first layer, because it doesn't transfer over, unfortunately, in After Effects. So let's go to placeholder 2. Do another possible idea that you might have. So and then push enter, and then dark afterwards on the next line. Make something like this, have it a little bit above, decrease the font size, push it over a little bit. Nice little looking text right there. You can see right here. So you want something like this. It's not going to show up correctly because you just made a bunch of settings in here changed. So basically it's going to just show up like normal. So what you want to do is copy that, go into your placeholder 2, double click, paste that text in, and then it jumps back to being incorrectly. You can push U on the keyboard, which will bring up the source text, and you can just click this equal sign here and it will show up correctly. That's basically all you need to do for that. If you want to do custom type layouts like this, that's basically it. Pretty straightforward. And one thing you need to keep in mind is I have these blue lines here on all the placeholders. You want to make sure that it is your placeholder type that you make is in between those lines. So if you come over to your setup, let's go to number 3, rename that placeholder 3 long, and go into placeholder 3 and you'll notice it's just barely in between the blue lines. But if you want to make it even longer, the longer. And go back to 3. You'll notice it's bleeding off the edges, which is not good, so you can either come in here and change the font size or put it on 2 layers, whatever you want to do. You're going to need to do that. Keep that in mind. Those blue lines are there to help you. And let's see here. That's basically for the setup. Remember your settings, the camera controls and whatnot are there to help you. That's basically all. If we hop back over here into the setup 1, let's say this last layer you want an actual logo or something, or just mask in general, something or other. You can click on this and either just delete it, the text that's in there, or push spacebar just to remove it. You want to keep that text layer in there though, just in case you come back to it, whatever, because it could be a problem if you just delete the layer in general. So don't delete the layer, just delete the type inside of it. Let's hop over to placeholder 4, and you notice nothing's there. I wonder why. Probably because you deleted the type. So the second layer right here, it says paste logo or mask here. You just paste your mask or your vector logo, whatever it is, onto this layer. So if I hop over to Illustrator, copy the Envato logo here, paste it in, comes right up. Then we have this mask layer. It should be showing up now. There it is. So if you're you paste your logo in and it's absurdly large or absurdly small, you're going to want to scale it up or scale it down by holding Shift Command. You can keep it right in the center. Just scale it down to the appropriate size, and you should be in business. Also, if let's say you don't have Illustrator or you don't have a vector logo, like it's right there, what you could do is bring your logo in here, scale it down. Obviously this is monstrous. Alright, and then go to layer and auto trace. You can get a trace of that. Just make sure you don't have too many points, or else the element will have a problem with your file. Element doesn't like too many points, some reason why. So that's basically it for the setup. Now we can hop back into the project file and choose either 720p or 1080p. If you have 1080p, you got to make sure you have like a really awesome computer or graphics card or something, because it's going to take a while to render if you're doing it on depth of field. If not, then you shouldn't have any problems rendering 1080p or 720p. It won't matter. Okay, I'm going to hop into the 720p. First off, the controls. Click on that. This, like right here, I pasted in the Envato logo, and I like this light flare going on right here, but I think it needs to be a little bit lower. That's where this comes in, and you can just even it up like that. Put it in the correct position, and basically that's all. Then you can just render this file out right here and you're good to go. So that's basically it. So starting now, this is more the advanced part of the tutorial if you want to dive deeper into it. So let's go back into placeholder 1, back to the hello, and you'll notice we got particular, particular, particular. These purple layers are all obviously particular. Those are the cloud layers and the dust. That's in front and back, and yeah. So in case you want to make any particular changes in particular, you can do that there. And then below that is the element large and small blocks that break off. These are the little dots and the text right there. So if you want to make any modifications, you're going to want to do it to that layer. And continuing on to the main, that is the type that comes up. that is revealed. So if you want to make any changes there, you can do it there. Key things to keep in mind in placeholder 4. Remember, if you go back, you're like, oh, well, we need to put type there. Instead, you're going to want to delete this masks that you originally put in there, or else you're going to get double effect. You'll have type and then you'll also have the logo there, so it'll look a little messed up. Let's say you have this dark type that I put in there that's a little off center. So we hop back into part 2, and you'll notice the light does not even up with the bottom of the type. What you're going to do is select both these yellow layers, those are the lens flares, and you can just move them down. Just hold down shift and push the arrow key down and line it up, and you're good to go. Music, obviously there's the music layer right there. Background is there's a vignette going on here. Can kind of see it. There. Then the background here is the background of everything. If you dive into the other, these are all the pre-comps. Then you got the lens flare, the music layer, the background, which I just got into. These 2 lens flares. Something quick to note is I have it running on the camera that's in all of these. So if you have like the camera change or something that you make, you're going to want to do it also in this lens flare, or else the lens flare will not move evenly with your type that's moving. Just keep that in mind. And also, if you hop in here, I made a pre-rendered lens flare video that's part of this, because this is a custom made lens flare that I did. This is a 20 layer lens flare that I originally made from scratch. Yeah. So if you want to dive into this monster, you can, but it takes longer to render. Just keep that in mind if you want to, throw in Video Copilot's lens kit that they have. You can do that. Just delete everything in here and make your own lens flare, and you're good to go. Yeah, hope you are able to make some really neat stuff with this, and let me know if you have any problems. Thanks.